ever have one of those moments where your teen rolls their eyes, slams the door, or gives you that look that makes your blood pressure rise? You start thinking, who are you talking to? And suddenly, you're halfway to a shouting match. But what if I told you what you think is disrespect might actually be something deeper? Something that's not even about you, but everything about what your teens trying to figure out about themselves. If you've been Googling teen behavior, parenting teens, or how to use emotional intelligence to create peace at home, you're in the right place. I'm Keisha Golder, life purpose coach and creator of the Emotionally Intelligent Teens Method, where I help moms like you rebuild connection, communication, and confidence without power struggles or guilt. And if you're already nodding because this feels too real, I wrote a book just for you. Bridging the Teen Gap. It's the handbook for turning conflict into connection. The link's below in the description. Grab it before you forget. Now, let's pull back the curtain on what's really behind your teen's behavior. When your teen acts out, it feels personal. You've sacrificed so much. So when they talk back or shut down, it stings. Here's the truth: nearly 80% of teen behavior isn't about you, it's about them trying to handle emotions their brain isn't mature enough to manage yet. I remember when my son hit that stage. One minute we were laughing, the next he was mad because I asked about homework. Old me, I definitely would have matched energy. But now I pause and I ask, is this about me or is he just overwhelmed? 9 times out of 10, it's not about me. So next time your teen reacts, take one deep breath before speaking and ask yourself, what are they trying to express that they don't have the words for yet? Once you stop personalizing their behavior, you'll start spotting your own triggers because your teen's tone didn't create your reaction, it activated an old one. Maybe you grew up where talking back meant punishment. So when your teen challenges you, it hits that old wound of disrespect. This isn't about blame, it's about healing. When you understand your triggers, you stop parenting from pain and start parenting from peace. And inside Bridging the Teen Gap, I walk you through this exact process: how to map your emotional triggers and respond instead of react. It's not a quick read, it's a reset for your relationship. I want you to write down the top 3 behaviors that trigger you and the feeling underneath each, because awareness changes everything. Your teen's behavior is communication, just not in the way we expect. When they isolate, they're processing. When they lash out, they're overwhelmed. When they get sarcastic, they might be insecure. One mom I worked with said, my daughter never talks. She just shuts down. Turns out, silence was communication. Her daughter didn't feel emotionally safe enough to speak. Once mom stopped demanding conversation and started offering calm presence, her daughter began opening up, one word at a time. So instead of, why are you being disrespectful? Try, you seem upset. What's really going on? That one question can flip defensiveness into trust. Here's where it gets real. Your energy sets the emotional tone of your home. If you meet chaos with calm, your teen learns calm. If you meet chaos with control, they learn fear or avoidance. Neuroscientists call it mirror neurons. Your teen literally mirrors your emotional regulation. So when they stay steady, they feel safe. That's emotional leadership. I want you to use the 3-second pause. When a trigger hits, pause, exhale, and ask, do I want to match energy or shift it? That pause is parenting power. Now, let's talk about one of the hardest shifts, choosing connection before correction. Because you can't correct what you don't understand. We jump into fixing mode so fast that we skip the emotion behind the behavior. But connection is what makes correction stick. A mom I worked with used to correct her daughter mid argument. The more she explained, the more her teen shut down. Once she learned to lead with empathy, just saying, I get it, you're frustrated, their conversations stopped ending in slammed doors. Try this. I see you're upset. Let's take a breather and talk when we are both ready to listen. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. Because studies show emotionally attuned teens are 60% more likely to communicate openly and less likely to rebel. Now, let's move from control to coaching. Control says, do it because I said so. Coaching says, let's figure this out together. That shift changes everything because your teen doesn't need a boss. They need a mentor who models emotional maturity. When I stopped controlling and started coaching, my sons began self correcting, not from fear, but from respect. Find one situation this week where you normally correct your teen. Instead, ask, what do you think you could do differently next time? That question, it builds reflection, not resistance. Now, I already know some of you are saying, Keisha, I don't have time for all this emotional talk. I just need my teen to listen. Or, that sounds great, but my kid doesn't open up at all. I get it. I really do. You're exhausted. But listen, this isn't about perfection, it's about intention. You don't have to decode every move. Just start noticing your own reactions. You don't have to be perfect at this. You just have to be present. Emotional intelligence isn't about never reacting, it's about repairing faster when you do. When your teen feels emotionally safe, their defenses lower, and that's when real change begins. If today's message spoke to your heart, grab your copy of Bridging the Teen Gap. It's full of stories, reflection prompts, and communication tools that help you create the kind of relationship that lasts long past the teenage years. That lasts long past the teenage years. Take a second right here. Think about one moment this week when you took your teen's tone when you took your teen's tone personally. What if that moment wasn't an attack, but a message? Your teen's behavior isn't about disrespect, it's about development. And your reaction, that's your power. Every time you pause instead of explode, connect instead of correct, coach instead of control, you're teaching emotional intelligence in real life. Now that you see your teen's behavior through a new lens, let's take that awareness into one of the most important talks you'll ever have. how to teach your teen about consent without it turning into a lecture. Click the next video and let's build emotionally intelligent families, one real conversation at a time. I'll see you guys in the next video.